and welcome to another episode of All Bad Film.
They call me the reviewer, right?
Oh, yeah. Jeez. All right, we're talking Tenet spoilers here. This is going to be titled Tenet Not Explained because our three lovely hosts. I'm your main host, Hey, and I'm joined with Evan and Lindsay, and we have no idea what happened in Tenet.
We can't even begin to spoil it because I don't know what happened.
So that's part of the thing that we're gonna sort of dive down a rabbit hole on is figuring out what exactly happened. And man, I've thought of this movie a lot, and I don't think it makes sense. And me and the other two hosts will probably get to that same agreement. But I just again can't say this is enough. Spoilers. All right, here we go. My God, the action is incredible.
Yep.
The last set piece, because I was wondering, because they introduced the bullet physics, they're like, oh, here's how reversing or whatever. What is it called? Because it was inverted. Thank you. Here's how inverting works. And I was like, man, they haven't used this for a while. And then as soon as John David Washington was like, I'm going out there, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I don't think, do y'all think any of the inversion rules make sense?
No.
Well, I mean, kind of, in as far as he's clearly setting rules with a lot of it.
I don't think that inverted fire just like becomes ice. Like, I don't know. I don't think you can invert fire molecularly and make it become ice.
That was the part that they sort of very quickly yada. They're like, yeah, if you catch on fire, like, don't worry, the suit will freeze you, so then you're fine. Well, and I was like, wait, but he's still in a burning car. Like,
they were saying that, like, fire turns into ice because it's inverted, and I was like, it doesn't work like that. Like,
is that what they meant?
Yeah, the car didn't catch on fire. The car froze.
Yeah, so the car's catching on fire, but it's inverted fire. Therefore, it's slowly getting colder instead of hotter.
No, that's so much dumber.
Wait, you didn't even realize that?
You didn't see the car freeze?
Remember, he got hypothermia.
I know. I thought what they were saying is to... God, okay, this is so much dumber than what I thought happened. I thought they were saying...
That's how fast the logic moves of the whole movie.
It really does. And like at the start, like there's this scientist that you meet for a little bit. There's this random guy on a boat who tells you nothing. They talk for like 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, well, that gave me nothing. And then he talks with Michael Caine. And all I got from that is Michael Caine was like, we're going to have to get you a nice suit if you want to fit in England.
Yeah, I completely zoned out during their entire conversation because I couldn't really hear them very well.
So okay, so this is one of the things that we had to get to. I maybe I'm just used to Nolan doing this with the sound mixes occasionally. But the only thing I had trouble with was Aaron Taylor Johnson's accent. Oh
my God, I couldn't understand a word that man said.
Yep. And don't get me wrong, I love to see Aaron Taylor Johnson getting work. But oh man, he was hard to understand, especially with like him and Robert Pattinson doing both like their European accents, and I was like, yeah. I only understand John David Washington. But I'm trying to think. I thought. Okay, here's one part that I think this is a little contentious between people. Did y'all like Kenneth Branagh as the villain?
I thought he did fine.
I thought he was menacing, and I actually didn't realize it was Kenneth Branagh till after.
Yeah,
that's Gilderoy Lockhart.
I really liked it. I don't know why. Like, I just feel like the movie was like, because it was throwing a lot of logic out the window. I like that Kenneth Branagh sort of amped it up, like 25% more for our cartoonish villain. Almost like, I kid you not, he almost seems like, have y'all seen The Great Mouse Detective? Like, he seems cartoonishly evil like that villain. Where he's like bigger than John David Washington, and he's like, I'm always one step ahead of you, and I'm gonna kill the world.
Yeah. If I can't have you, no one can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was effective.
Evan, I think, I forget if this was you, Lindsay, real quick. Me, Evan, and Sam were texting each other because we always make group texts for movies. So some of this stuff is what we had talked about before. But Evan, I forget if it was you, but Evan had mentioned, or Sam, that if Kenneth Branagh wanted to kill himself, he could just touch himself in any timeline where like he was inverted, and then the whole world would go kaput. Like,
no, I think they were like implying that he wanted to die there because it was like his last happy moment with her or something like that.
That's what someone was saying, but like that's so
baffling
to me.
Then why collect the algorithm?
Yeah.
Also, wasn't he going to like take one of those cyanide pills that they already established doesn't work?
Oh yeah, what was that?
Yeah,
I saw that and thought about that, but it never came into play.
Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah, I thought that was some Tenet thing. Also, like, it's look, I'm not gonna lie, we were already talking. Just to be clear, all three of us liked the movie. Just to have that out there.
Oh, sure. We liked it.
Movie go big bang. I like. But the whole logic of they were like, well, who's sending us this, man? Where are we getting these inverted things? The future's sending us to try to kill us. That's dystopia, dude. It's like written by a 10-year-old or a 13-year-old. Sorry, I'll give more credit.
But there's not enough details to dispute it.
Yeah, this definitely felt like.
I guess it could be from the.
Like Interstellar was dumb, but this one felt like really big dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, way more. I feel like Interstellar just had like, in a slight spoiler for Interstellar mostly had like the love through line that was like, okay, well, this is kind of silly. Yeah. And I know some people like think Matt Damon's insertion is silly, but like for the most part, it's like, okay, there's rules to this world. I think this, I think this is why I think I had a good time with this. Is as soon as like the exposition, the first hour was done, I was like, okay, well, I guess that didn't matter, and like I'm just supposed to enjoy this, and then I was fine with it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the rules weren't even my problem. I actually had a fun time with any time inversion was used. Mm-hmm. I think he really like worked against himself because he made all the just plot details of everything with Branagh and Kat just so complicated.
Yep.
Just so many different countries, different scenes.
Yeah.
I didn't even think Kenneth Branagh was the villain for the first half of the movie. I thought he was just some weird angry boyfriend that was never going to come up again.
I agree. I didn't realize he was going to be the main big bad. And I kind of like, I know that's where it started like ramping up for me, where I was like, oh, okay, there's at least a story here. As soon as Elizabeth Debicki shows up, I was like, oh, okay, this is the scene they have together where like she's in the car and I forget what the guy says, but it's something along the lines of he gets what he wants or whatever. And then John David Washington bursts out of the bar and she's like, not always. And then they drive off. I was like, am I watching an 80s Michael Mann movie?
Yeah, that's true. He does just kind of let him get away with cheese gratering one of his bodyguard's face.
Yeah. And then the thing that I was confused about too, look, if they can kill him at any point, I understand what they're gonna say is, well, it already happened, so like things had to go the same way. But if they're on the boat with Kenneth Branagh, if you just left him in the water, the whole movie's over in the first 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I was so confused because they kept being like, we can't kill him. We need him. We can't kill him. And then she kills him and like it was fine.
Yeah.
So I was like,
that's what I was confused about. They set up so many rules where they're like, Elizabeth Debicki, you can't kill Kenneth Branagh. I know you want to, but you can't kill Kenneth Branagh. And she's like, LOL, I'm going to kill Kenneth Branagh. And I was like, wait, then why would you establish that as a rule?
Yeah, so she doesn't apologize. She just casually waved away. I was pretty sure you were going to save the world. It's okay.
Yeah.
It was so casually waved away, too, because she was just like, yeah, I killed him. That was okay, right? And they were just like, oh, yeah, that was fine. I was like, okay.
And she was like, watch this. I'm the one that I looked up to. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to... Okay, wait. What's
up? It was confusing, but still predictable at the same time. Because, like, as soon as she said that she saw a woman drop off the boat, I was like, that was her in the future. And then, like...
That's what I felt like, too. I was like, look.
And then, like, when they were fighting those first, like, inverted people, I was like, he's definitely fighting himself. Like,
well, I knew it was either... I was like, this is either John David Washington or Robert Pattinson. There's no way around it.
Yeah. So it's
weird like we're talking about, it's like the ultimate yada yada. The world gets annihilated if you touch your past self.
Like, but if you just kung fu fight each other, you're fine.
Was that supposed to be like really tense because we didn't want them to touch skin? Is that the rule? I don't.
Like, is it skin?
I don't know.
He was touching himself.
Yeah, no. If it was just touching with clothes, they would have ended the universe like 60 times in 1 minute. Also, like, okay, I tried to explain this to Sam because I don't really get it in that scene, and I think this movie deserves a rewatch. But the more I think about it, I'm like, does it? Because I just think things don't make sense, and that's okay. But they go into the airport and they're running in straightways, like they're running in regularly relative to everybody running backwards, I think.
Okay.
But wouldn't they see it, like, wouldn't the medics see them running backwards when they were watching it in real time? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that did confuse me because then he goes in so that he can be the guy that originally came out in the first time. But he's going inverted when he fights him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like he went into the inverter and just stayed inverted.
But he would have been... I thought the whole reason... Did they put Elizabeth Debicki through the other inverter?
I don't know.
See, this
no, they did afterwards. They did at the end.
Okay, gotcha. I've asked a couple people that, and they're like, and it's like, yeah, there's a lot going on in that scene. I forget what's the actor's name from Yesterday. I'm looking it up real quick. Y'all can keep talking.
What is he in the movie?
Yeah, he's the guy who's flying the plane into the... Himesh Patel.
I didn't realize that was him.
Really?
Yeah, no, I thought he was really good. He's got like I don't know, he's got a really good look to him, because I saw Yesterday, or no, I just saw like the stills of Yesterday, and I was like, this looks like a rom-com, and it is, but I just mean that's not necessarily... I know, but that's not necessarily like starring in the next Nolan film, the guy from the Beatles rom-com. No, I thought I wanted to see... I said this in my review. I wanted to see more of... I would have preferred Debicki, Patel, Pattinson, and John David Washington, and Aaron Taylor Johnson just working together, sort of like Inception style, where they're like a squad.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, maybe I was just itching for a squad, using inversion stuff. I thought it could be cool, because maybe, like, how they did the whole army thing, I thought that would have been cooler if it wasn't just Robert Pattinson in one of the sides. Because it's really, like, the only people you recognize. They try to introduce this female captain, and I'm like, well, you didn't even say her name, and, like, this is she had, like, one line of dialogue, so I'm not just randomly going to be like, oh, yeah, so-and-so, you've been with us the whole time. So just the fact I was like, oh, okay, well, it's going to come down to these three. I would have liked it if we had like one other person in the final, which looks...
Well, Hayden.
We were talking about
the character's name.
That's true. That's true.
Oh my god, it was so weird that he kept being like, "I'm the protagonist of this story."
Yeah,
and
I was like,
why is
did
this
Nolan
like meta all of a sudden?
Yeah, did Nolan just not? Was he coming up short on names? Is that?
Yeah, because it doesn't have like any thematic relevance to this story, right? To have him be called that. Besides,
Nope, it does
about
not.
It a lot.
No, not at all.
If they had mentioned like in the future they're looking for a protagonist to save us, then that would have made some sense, I guess. But like the only mention of it is like that one rich lady that's like, you know, you might not be the protagonist of this story. And then it only circles back at the end when he's like, I am the protagonist of this story. And I was like, well, why did we even do that?
Yeah, it was weird and cheesy.
Yeah, and even when he's not talking to her, he still kind of calls the bad guys antagonists.
Yep.
Yeah,
whenever he feels like it.
It's supposed to be meta, like.
Yeah, I was like, I thought that was just a metaphor when you were talking to that one woman. I don't know, just odd screen.
But if I could ring on some positives real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Sam had mentioned this. While that battle scene at the very end might not make one stinking sense at all, like zero, it looks phenomenal. Like it's up there with one of the best like action scenes I've seen, and just the whole like grandeur of Nolan with his clock again. You know, name a more iconic duo.
Hey, the 10 and both the 10s going different directions on the clocks.
Exactly, 10 it.
10.
Oh my god!
They finally did it.
Yeah, but just the whole like everything's happening at once. Nolan really like balances like the tension really well, and like, look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really understand what on earth is going on with John David Washington, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Robert Pattinson in the final scene.
I have no idea. Not a
because I was confused at one point because like they were lying dead on the floor, and then he was like, "Oh, well, this inverted guy's gonna save me," and I was like, "But how did you know that?" Anyway,
yeah, I never really figured out why there needed to be two sets of teams in the first place. Really,
me either.
Or who they're fighting. Really, you just kind of walks into an area and.
I was confused about this because they didn't end up doing it, I think. But again, I'd probably have to watch it again. One of them was supposed to take the bomb out or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Also, there's the whole warning thing where he fails to hear the warning and then someone goes back to warn him again. It's like, it fails. I thought we went over this.
Look, with all that said of how much like... how illogical the final act is, I will not lie to you that I was gosh darn captivated at Robert Pattinson looking at John David Washington as he's like, what's going to happen to you? He's like, oh, you don't understand. For you, it's the start of a beautiful friendship. For me, it's been a whole lifetime. I was like, brothers loving each other. I love it.
Honestly, yeah, that was also my favorite part. I like wanted more of that because I love like the trope where time travelers fall in love in reverse. And I was like, I got a little bit of that, and I wanted a little bit more.
Yeah, when you said a whole crew, I just wanted just them two, the whole movie.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that was the thing. Like, I liked the Brana and DeBecky stuff, but I was like, okay, but where's Pattinson? Because, like,
they didn't get like enough scenes alone together talking.
Yeah.
Pattinson was in a suit, and I like that. So let's show that a little bit more.
And he looks like Christopher Nolan.
He kind of does, just a little bit. But I'm trying to think if there's anything. That's basically it. I mean. Again, we're not good at explaining things.
Hey,
we're not.
Did you figure out the bungee jumping upwards thing?
Okay, I'll explain this to Lindsay real quick. So, Lindsay, when they explained the bullet thing, how they were like, okay, see, you drop the bullet and pick it up. You can do both because you caused the action of dropping the bullet and you picked. I don't know. That doesn't make sense for what they do later. And if someone there's probably a video online that's like, oh, Tenet explained, and then I'll be like, okay, well maybe it makes sense now. But I thought that whole introduction they were setting up for was that you could invert anything, and that when they were bungee jumping, they could go up on the roof and then they could bungee jump backwards. And I was like, okay, well, this is what it's going for. And then they just bungee jumped down. And I was like, wait, but what was the point of showing the bullet then?
So did they use inversion to bungee jump upwards to get on the building? Or was that just
no, see, that's the part that I was confused about. I didn't realize the bullets had to be inverted prior. I thought... Yeah, it wasn't explained like the best.
I'm pretty sure it's like objects in the future were getting inverted and then being sent back to the past. So it's not like they could invert anything because they didn't have those like inversion machines until later when they did have machines.
And then there was a whole army that was using them.
Yeah, because like the whole Clemens Posey, when she shows up for like 2 minutes just to like explain the movie, like she was like, there's only a few objects that have been inverted and we don't know where they're coming from. And then later there's like 18 inversion machines and they're just using them and like going through all of them. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, they're like, we could never find any of them, and John David Washington just so happens to stumble on like 4 of them in the span of 2 days.
Where did you get these?
Yeah, not guarded at all. Like, why is there one at a random airport in the first place?
So weird.
The future was just like, hey, we really like JFK Airport, so we're gonna put one of these here.
Yeah, they'll never see it coming while we build our algorithm 9-part bomb ending device.
I was confused with that too. Is when they were like, oh, well, he has the algorithm. And I was like, but what is that?
Why? Yeah, I know. I was like, what is the algorithm? When you just established that?
There's just these loose terms, protagonist, algorithm, antagonist, inverting. And Nolan's like, well, don't worry. We'll fix it in post, fellas.
Yeah, he might as well just said, hey, I got the device that will destroy the world. And then they go, oh, we got to get that.
I have the big indie tool thing.
Oh, yeah. And by the time we know there's 9 parts, he goes, well, how many are left? He's like, they have them all. It's like, well, why even do that? Why not just make it one MacGuffin piece?
Yeah,
that's such a good point.
I didn't even think of that at all.
What was the point of making it 9 parts?
Well... It's a long, complicated puzzle that would take eons to put together.
So
well,
funny.
How far are they? Oh, they
already did it.
Yeah, they have them all.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Jeez.
Yeah. I was trying to describe the plot to my brother to like convince him to watch it because he likes dumb action movies, and we always.
This is definitely there.
Yes, we always joke about dumb action movies by like talking about plutonium because like every bad action movie is like they're stealing the plutonium. Oh, so when I was telling him about this, he was like, "Do they steal inverted plutonium?" And I was like, "Yes." He was like,
"No, they do." Oh my god. But yeah, the first scene that everybody was freaking out that came out IMAX preview or whatever. That was awesome too. The theater scene.
Also confusing as to what's going on at all.
I think what's happening. I think what's happening is that's when John David Washington and Robert Pattinson were going back through time, and that's why someone shows up that they're like, "That's not one of our guys." But I was confused at the whole like.
What were the bad guys trying to accomplish?
I don't
know.
In
that situation. Were they trying to blow up the rich guy that they ended up saving?
I think the rich guy maybe had a piece of the algorithm. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay, interesting.
I'm guys, I might be lying.
The beginning is the end.
That's Tenet for you. But yeah, overall movie good. But you know, maybe don't try to make sense of it all, you know?
Oh, another scene I love, in the intense wartime third act, there's the scene of her trying to kill Kenneth Branagh, and she's just like casually spraying sunscreen all over the floor and spraying it with water.
Gotta buy time.
Hey, let me put some on your back. And then when she shoots him, there's just a ton of sunscreen still on his back. I just thought it was really weird and funny how that happened.
I think it was so she could slide him off the boat easier.
Yeah, I know, but it was just funny how
see, I have a question about this too. Did they take... Okay, here's the dark part that I didn't want to... I forgot about asking about this, and I'm glad, Evan, you reminded me. Did they take Kenneth Branagh's dead body to invert it?
Did they?
I don't know, but they took his body was trailing off of the boat.
Yeah, I saw that they had his body. I didn't know what they were going to do with it.
Kenneth Branagh's body.
Why would they invert it?
Did they invert it? Wait, what?
Well, because they had mentioned they're like, if we get it to an inversion thing fast enough, then we can. I don't know. I just I thought
still somehow linked to the device.
I just thought I don't know. I have no clue.
I don't even know what that is.
I genuinely have no answer for you.
And also,
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I give up.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for our Tenet spoilers. Again, this has been out for a little bit, so I'm sure we'll get a couple people checking this out. If someone got this far and you frustratingly listened to about 30 minutes of us talking about a movie that you completely understand, feel free to email or reach out on Twitter. You can email at allthatfilm1@gmail.com or allthatfilm on Twitter. DMs are open. Feel free to just let me have it on explain the movie to me. I'd love it. But that's going to do it. Thank you, Evan and Lindsay, for confusing me even more. And thank you, Christopher Nolan, for such an interesting film to talk about and dissect.
It's great to see it again. Or it's great to see it, though.
Yeah, for sure. It's
a good,
spectacle.
Inventive, creative, kind of...
Yeah. Good for something to go Chris Nolan's way for once in a while.
I was just really loving. He was probably like watching an action movie and then had to rewind it because he missed something, and then he was like, oh, "Wait, I have an idea."
And with that, that's going to be the episode. See ya.